So now that a lot of people are coming back to Project Zomboid with Build 42 coming out and multiplayer here eventually, thought I'd make a quick guide on how to have your best start overall in Project Zomboid and just give you guys some tips on where you should start out, some of the things you should do on your first day, and just kind of walk you guys along, more so for beginners, but it could be a good refresher for people who haven't played in a while. With all that being said, grab something to drink, sit back, relax. Let's get right into it. One of the first things you want to do is spawn in Rosewood. Rosewood is probably, in my opinion, one of the most easiest locations to spawn into, especially for a new player just getting into the game. You have all the essential buildings around you, literally all along this main street right here, like the fire department, the police station, the convenience store, a small hospital clinic, a relatively large bookstore, a very large food mart with anything you could possibly imagine, an auto shop for all your vehicle needs, and one of the most important locations of all, a gas station. So whenever you spawn in, you should get put into a pretty small house, pretty close to the center of town. Whenever you have here, you won't have this map unlocked like I do, obviously because you haven't explored the map, but whenever you are here, try to find out where you are, and you don't really need anything from this house. You can get some chips, water, whatever, but what I suggest you do immediately is don't run like I did. You want to just casually walk over here. You don't want to attract too many zombies along the way, but you want to try to find the fire department right away. Alright, now that you've made it to the fire department, you want to be on the lookout for any zombies that could get you while you're trying to loot. So whenever you are here, it is day one, and depending on your scenario, what you chose to play on, that'll be dependent on the zombie settings and how many zombies are actually going to be here in this area on day one. There shouldn't be too many yet. Here, I just left it on default, so that's pretty much what you'll see. There might be a few stragglers, but nothing too crazy. Just push them down. You don't really need any type of equipment, any tools. Just push them down, and you should be good to go. Alright, now that you're down here, what I recommend you do is before you go upstairs, go anywhere else in the fire department, you want to loot these two rooms, preferably first. The third, not so much, is more optional, but I'll tell you why here in a second. So this first room right here will hold the majority of your tools and equipment, such as right here, fire axe, one of the best melee weapons that you can get in the game. Go ahead and get that. You can equip it on your back. Oxygen tank, don't really need that yet. More of these screwdrivers, really good to have. Spade, rope, go ahead and take these with us. Those are really good. As you can see, we have a helmet, pants, go ahead and put that on. And let's go to the next room. In room number 2, this is where you will find most of your medical supplies. So as we go through these right here, you'll find hospital equipment. You don't really need that. More for a cosmetic look, I would say, but you don't really need. You can turn them into rags if you want to. But go through these. What I recommend getting are painkillers. Very important, especially pretty common sense if you're under pain. Helps a lot. Antidepressants, really great to have. Bandages. Don't really need tongue depressors. I'm not sure what you would need that for. You can leave that there. Antibiotics, really great to have. As I said, these are just things that you pretty much want to have at all times. Beta blockers, very important. Like I said, anything that has anything to do to affect your moods, your moodles, you want to go and get those straight away. So for the third room, like I said, it's pretty much optional. You don't really have anything too important here. You might find some rags. You might find a bottle of bleach, but there's really nothing you need at this moment immediately from this room, so it is optional. You can go ahead and skip that room. Okay, so upstairs, you want to watch out for zombies again. I cleared these really quickly, nothing too hard. In build 42, you do want to watch out for muscle strains, so be watching how much you actually swing your axe. Preferably, you want to knock them down to the ground by pushing them, and then just go stomp their head in. If you want, go crazy, swing the axe, but like I said, just watch out for your muscle strain. But when you're up here, what you want to do straight away, especially if you don't have any food from your spawn house, you want to come over here and pretty much you're going to find any type of fresh food. You want to get it. You can throw these like sausage, throw it in the oven, cook the sausage, make sure and get any type of chips, candy, things like that. That's going to go a long way and actually help you, especially when it comes to your calorie intake. And make sure you maintain that good weight of about 80 75 to 85. 80 is what I try to keep it at, just to maintain that strength overall. Okay, but now after you looted the kitchen, got your fill and some good food, you want to come over into the locker rooms. Over here you can find anything from equipment to some knee pads like these. These are really great to have, protect you pretty good. Over here, nothing, too crazy, but we are looking for a duffel bag or backpack. We unfortunately did not find any here, but that's okay. We can always go find one in another locker. Completely optional, but unfortunately nothing here. But that's fine. Like I said, we can always find it in the police station coming up here next. So now you've looted the fire station. You should have a good melee weapon, good equipment, some pretty good clothes, and it should make it a lot easier to take out some zombies in here. There shouldn't be too much. Like I said, it's day one, depending on what your settings are. But you want to go straight away over here to the armory. Whenever you're over here, just be careful that, it's not dark. You turn on some lights. Preferably get a flashlight you'll find over there in the fire department. But you want to go straight over to the armory. Whenever you're over here, it will most likely be locked. So you'll have to find a key on one of the bodies here on the officer zombies, or you'll find a key somewhere in the parking lot on one of those. So now that you have the police station key, you can go over here into the armory and get yourself a nice shotgun. Shotgun I recommend using, especially for newer players. It's easy to shoot, and it doesn't have really any downside to it whatsoever. It's a really strong gun. Good beginner gun. If you can find it in here, you most likely will find it here, straight in the first cabinet. Make sure you get yourself some ammo, box of shotgun shells, and like I said, you can always find a good duffel bag or backpack in here. You just want to be careful that you're not carrying too much weight like I am here, otherwise you'll get overweight, and especially in build 42, that muscle fatigue will actually start to strain on your legs, and that is not good. While you're here in the police station, one of the other things you can do is come over here to the locker rooms. You could find some pretty useful things, some good cosmetic things more or less, first aid kit, things of that nature. Nothing too, too out of the ordinary, but you could find some good things. Here's another police station key right here. Some more shirts, pants, and all that. Another flashlight, very useful. So for your next step, what you should do is try to get a good working vehicle. That's pretty much going to be your lifeline. You'll be able to carry all types of things in the trunk. Obviously, there's different sizes, but you're not going to be able to have anything or go anywhere to try and even find a base on foot. So I recommend finding a vehicle. It's pretty easy. Here in the police station, try and get one of these. These have pretty good room in the back. Most likely they'll be locked, so you will either have to smash a window or try to find a key somewhere laying around. So let's try and get into here. It's open. Sometimes the key will be in the ignition. If it's not, it will maybe be here somewhere in the car itself. There it is right here. Always check the glove box. It sometimes is there. Let's go ahead and put that in our key ring. And if we're lucky, it will start. We are very low on gas. Car fortunately did start. So now that we are low on gas, we might have enough to get to the gas station. However, if you don't, what you can do is get a gas can, a rubber hose if you're in build 42. If you're in build 41, you don't need a rubber hose. You just need a gas can. And you can walk up and try to siphon gas from other vehicles. But if you don't, just follow me and we'll head on to the gas station. So as a quick recap, up to this point, you now should have some food, water, equipment, clothes, a good melee weapon, a good range weapon such as a shotgun, and a vehicle with gas. So now for your final step, what I recommend doing is based off of whatever needs you have, more immediate needs, you can go do those. I recommend getting a pen and marking maps. So for example, for Rosewood, I would mark the gas station where I'm at. I would mark the fireplace, the police station. I would mark maybe the bookstore over here, the auto shop. So I would just go along and mark it, and based off of, like I said, your needs, what you more or less immediately need to attend to, then that's what I would go. Like I said, everything is mainly on this one street. Once you do get situated, you get your good footing in the game, you can start going through these. A good place to settle is this gated neighborhood over here, this middle house specifically. So do keep that in mind. If you do choose to stay here in Rosewood, that's a really good location. But really anything's good. It's a good starter town. And that's pretty much it. That pretty much does it for the video. If at all any of this helped you whatsoever, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And I'll see you guys next time.